Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, got it. Hey everybody, it's Premiere Gal here. Today I'm with Luisa Winters. She is a Master Adobe Premiere Trainer, and we're here together at the Adobe Video World Conference. And she's been teaching some sessions here. One that I went to was on advanced keyframing. So I'm really pleased to introduce you all to Luisa Winters.
Well, thanks, Premiere Gal. Thanks for having me here, and hello to everybody.
So what sessions have you been teaching here?
So I taught a session which was 3 hours, Introduction to Premiere Pro, and it was meant for people who were just either moving to Premiere Pro from another platform, or maybe a designer that wanted to start editing or whatever. And then I did advanced keyframing. I also did titles in Photoshop.
Okay.
And tomorrow I have a session on compositing and keying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's for like green screen work, correct?
Not necessarily. It will involve green screen because that's the keying part of it.
Right.
But the compositing is going to involve masking and blending modes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to check that out tomorrow. It sounds fun.
Yeah.
And what sort of tips do you have for other women in film and video, especially in post-production?
Especially in post-production. So I started working in post-production when there weren't too many women. There were women, but not too many. I think the best advice that I can give to women is, listen, to be treated the same, you have to be better. You have to be better for them to treat you the same. So if that's what you need to do, then that's what you need to do. Become better. Be better than them.
But also it's I think, of course, being better and proving that you're excellent in your practice, but also just collaborating and trying to build relationships with everybody
absolutely. Absolutely. Don't fight City Hall. Make friends, not enemies, right? And make alliances, not just on a personal level, but strategic alliances to just get ahead if that's what you want to do and that's how you want to do it. But absolutely, I mean, make friends, make alliances, and partner yourself with either other women or men that can and will help you. So yes.
And let's say that there was somebody, like a student out there that was about to graduate from, I don't know, some sort of film production school where they were just finishing editing. Are there any like opportunities that like apprenticeships or like groups that people can get involved with right away?
There are. The thing with apprenticeships, groups, associations, all of that, is that most people don't want to join them. They don't want to go to the meetings because it's like a chore. But it's something that we have to do. For example, in DC, there's the Women in Film. There is the TIVA Association in DC. In Baltimore, we have the Baltimore Videographers Association, which, by the way, I started because we didn't have an association.
Right.
So I said, this is ridiculous. I knew people, so I decided to start the association, and now it's going on its 20th year.
Okay.
And so my advice to students, not even if you're about to graduate, even if you just started studying, is join the associations, meet people. It's really, when it comes down to it, it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
So you need to make sure that everybody knows who you are.
Exactly.
In a sense,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I know of this very young, well, maybe not so young anymore, but I've known him since he was 12 years old, this very young filmmaker that started submitting his work to all of the film competitions and awards and all. He's won several already. And he won his first one when he was 12.
Wow.
In
That's
other
amazing.
words, send your work out.
Yeah.
The worst that can happen, the very worst that can happen, is that you don't win. Then you're in the same position you were before.
Yeah, absolutely. So my next question for you is how you got to be here at Adobe Video World. Like, what did you have to do to be invited as a trainer? Did they folks reach out to you? Have you been doing this for so long that it just sort of happened?
Sure. So Adobe Video World is a conference that is put together by Future Media Concepts, or FMC. And FMC and I have had a relationship going back probably 12 years now. Okay, so way back in the day, with my husband, we had a video production company in Annapolis, Maryland, and we ran that for about 20 years. He did sales, marketing, and all of that, and I did all of the production and post-production work. And I was running into a lot of trouble with my Macs. But at that time, I used only exclusively Macs and all of that, and it was in the early days of nonlinear. And you know, if we have a lot of women viewers, you'll understand what I'm trying to say. If you call tech support and you are a woman and you have a Hispanic accent, they will treat you like if you are completely ignorant of all of the facts. They would tell me things like, well, but have you tried turning it on? And I'm like, I told you exactly what I did.
Oh my
so
gosh.
Anyway, to make a long story short, I decided that I wasn't going to call tech support ever again. This happened many times, so it's not like one phone call, right? So I became my own tech support.
Oh, okay.
And then I started going into the very, very early days of forum, where people would go into these chat rooms. You know, we're talking 90s, so you know.
Were they like hashtag channels then?
No,
too?
not even.
Oh,
Hashtag
okay.
came later.
Oh, okay.
And then people started asking me for advice because I would post things that would actually help people. So Adobe hired me to do a presentation, which was watched. This was my first presentation. And I had about 900 people in that room, and it went very, very well. And then it caught on, and I started presenting at different events. And then somebody said, "Hey, why don't you just teach this in a classroom? Why don't you become certified?" And I'm like, "That's great! I didn't know a certification existed."
And we can still get certification now too.
Yes.
It's the ACE, the
it's the
ACE.
ACE. I am an ACI, which means I'm an Adobe certified instructor, and I'm actually certified to teach every single Adobe product.
Wow.
Because it just took over. So you know, from Premiere, which was my first certification, I did Encore. Encore doesn't even exist anymore, but I'm certified in it. So then I did, you know, After Effects, Photoshop, and then of course InDesign, Illustrator.
That's great.
Dreamweaver, and all of the ones just followed.
So it sounds like you just put yourself out there, and as you were saying, like you just provided that expert advice. You were better, and you were discovered in a sense.
I had to be better because I had no help. Nobody was willing to help me out. I mean, it was to the point in which I would call people to even buy equipment, and they would say, "Well, can I talk to your boss?"
Yeah.
So, you know, people always ask me, "Have you been discriminated against for being Hispanic?" And no, not for being Hispanic, but for being a woman. So,
Very
but
true.
times are different now.
They are.
Times are, they're not what we want them to be, but they're much better than what they used to be. So, but the advice I think is still sound. And by the way, that's an advice that my father gave me.
Yeah.
It was not my mom, my dad. He said, look, if you have to be better just to be treated equal, that's what you do. It'll make you a better person.
Yeah.
And I took that to heart. And I think that's the best advice that he could have given me when he gave it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for sharing your knowledge with us. And I'm sure that it's going to, you know, inspire lots of other female editors out there. Do you have like anything online that people can follow? Like, do you have trainings online that we can look at?
I'm a lynda.com author.
Okay.
So I have training in there with the Premiere Pro Guru sessions, and now I'm starting some After Effects ones. So I have about 3 After Effects titles, and more to come. So yeah, lynda.com.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to say before we say bid farewell?
Put yourself out there and keep on editing. Just do what you love to do, and things fall into place.
Great. All right, well, thanks for watching, guys. And if you have any recommendations for any other women in film and video that you would like me to interview, just leave a comment below. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.